A reckoning of destiny called to Leo Messi's yesterday, and the big man responded for 36 long years. Argentina have waited for 36 years to get a trophy for themselves. The biggest prize in all in the football to this football crazy country. 36 painstaking years while Messi won everything there is to win in the modern football of Argentina. It was painful to watch them walk past the trophy in the 2014 final. Painful to watch France take them apart in the 2018. When the world thought that the best years were beyond him, this man created an Houdini's act that he could deliver anytime more, and there would also be a World Cup shaped hole in his illustrious career. That's when Messi started delivering. The world could see Argentina's resolve. All of 2021, a Copa America win came, but also Argentina had 14 of those already. It was the big one that they wanted. More than anything else, this game, this country that worships Diego Maradona in the churches, that breaks into when the Boca Juniors play River Plate, this country is united to meet their heroes' expectation and finally delivered. Lionel Messi is the world champion. Argentina are the world champion. There is really nothing more to be said. There's nothing that can capture the wonder of this phrase. We have with us two of the eminent panelists who've been with us for some time. Ranjit Bajaj, the owner of FC Minerva, and we are also very pleased and proud to host the man himself who's played for India and is serving the Indian team, Sandesh Jhingan, who joins us well, who's taken time from his practice schedule. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Sandesh, I would come to you first. How does it feel to watch the World Cup and the World Cup finale? Is it the best farewell to the World Cup, FIFA World Cup?
Firstly, good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, the World Cup, I think everyone would agree, has been really great. Firstly, a lot of credit should go to the Qatar KOFA as well, for the way they hosted it was also very well. And as a tournament itself, I think everyone enjoyed. Even the stats for themselves speak a lot. I think it's the first World Cup which has the most goals scored. So I think that's very exciting.
Yes.
For the fans to watch.
Is it still exciting for a defender to see so many goals going scored?
I think it's a very funny thing. Yesterday, when I was watching the final with my wife, and she was saying that I love when there are goals in a football game because they're 3-3, And I was like, then I think defenders are the ones who wants to make football look boring because we don't want to concede and just make the other. But yeah, as a neutral, it's good fun. But if I talk personally, you'd rather make the game a little bit boring, but just to make your house clean, you don't concede and make sure your men up front, they put the ball in the net. But yeah, as a neutral, it's always fun. More goals, more enjoyment.
Sandesh, are there going to be withdrawal symptoms? No football at night? I mean, World Cup is over. The trophy is won. The much-deserved winner, Messi, takes them all. Do you think the nights for the fans, especially the fans, is going to be dark and lonely?
This thing, I would hope personally, that it was great to see the whole country was enjoying the World Cup, but even our league is going on. The ISL is still going on. So I hope the love and the support, they had shown to the other countries in the World Cup, in general to football. I hope it continues because our ISL is going on, and I hope their focus now shifts towards the ISL.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the growth of your own country. But it's great to see that how many Indians were enjoying football at the greater stage, and it's great to see that India loves this sport so much. And so I think they can the Premier League and everything will be on, the league football will be on. So
absolutely. But again, I'll come back to the I-League and the Indian master tactician, Ranjit Bajaj. Ranjit, you predicted it right. You got almost everything right that was to be predicted, except the scoreline. The winner was there, the Messi was there, everything was there. How excited were you and what was your celebration like? I think, first of all, let's understand that. Ranjit.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all, Mr. Sunil Kalra and NewsX, because I've just loved each and every part of being part of your shows and doing such great shows for the World Cup part of your channel. And great to also be on the same panel as Sandy, who's people don't know, but this is one of the persons who I started my football club with. He's my founder with me, and we used to play six-a-side football together. So वहाँ से भी शुरू किया था हमने. Now the celebrations were great because my predictions came true. I in fact even won a bet with my dad, so I was going double crazy. So I was going all over the room, jumping around, me and my wife, because I predicted it on day one that Argentina is going to win before the World Cup started. And the first thing which happened was they went and lost to Saudi Arabia. And I didn't know where to look. Oh my God, man. I predicted on national TV that Argentina is going to win. And I'm looking like such a fool. But today, Messi has not only paid me back, he has paid the entire generation back. In fact, we are so lucky to be in the world of football, especially me and even Sandy, to live through this generation. You know, we can hear, me and Sandy have heard great things about Pele. But unfortunately, we never saw him play. And even when Maradona was there, we were too small, to actually enjoy it.
Correct.
But this is growing through this and looking at 2006, 10, 14, it's like actually growing with the guy and then, living each and every moment with him. So I'm so happy for him and Argentina team.
Is it fair to say, Ranjit, that Messi is beyond statistics now? He's become pure football emotion.
Definitely. Beyond. Like earlier, there used to be Maradona. There is now Messi. Messi now is a notch above Ronaldo. There was always a debate and there was some, it was always going like this. But now he's a notch above Ronaldo because he single-handedly won them the World Cup. Because it's not about this World Cup. In the Copa America and the World Cup qualifiers, the highest scorer was again Messi. So this year was phenomenal, and if there was no Messi in this Argentina team, wouldn't have been possible. So I would say this Messi's World Cup's Messi.
Well, we'll come to this tactical match one-on-one a little later. But right now, Sandesh, I would like to ask you, this World Cup has seen a lot of high-profile upsets and exits at the earlier stage. Do you think that the smaller teams are now actually focusing on their games and catching up? What we saw with Japan, what we saw with Korea, and what we saw with Saudi Arabia, just creating the rabbit out of their hat. Do you think now there is hope? And it's not,
Firstly, though, I think when you're in the World Cup, I don't think there's any smaller team. But yeah, I get the point. I think being involved in it and having played so many games for the country, the margin from the number one ranked team to, I would say, till 70, I think it's very small. It's just about very few margins. So there's not much of a difference. And everyone will say okay, now like how Morocco did, how Japan and everyone did, well, even Saudi, they'll say yeah, they created upset, but you need to look in depth how it happened actually. This is what they started 15, 20 years ago. They started investing in the youth. They started working on their grassroots many, many years ago. Looking at the future at that in 2022, we might get there. And then that's how we're going to do it. So I think the credit should go to all these federations, and even our country is doing so well. And one of the finest guys who have done it is Ranjit Bajaj Paji. Having looked at him so closely, how he has nurtured so many talents. So it's a process which starts behind the scenes, and then it gives you fruits after a few years. So it requires patience as well. But yeah, it's great to see, and that's why I think football is the greatest sport in the world, and it just gives us so much joy because it's so unpredictable and brings so many smiles. So it's great to see, good for the sport. And but a lot of countries should learn from this, that you need to invest on the grassroots. When you have a solid base, you can build as big as the foundation you want, as big as the building you want. So
well, Sandesh, now let's deep dive into the match of last night. We've celebrated Messi, we've celebrated the most successful World Cup ever in terms of the shape, size and the luxury. But take a step back, let's talk about sport and something which you are so keen student of, defense. France's 4-4-2 defensive shape is asymmetrical. The gap in the right half space has structural weaknesses. Would you agree that there is, therefore, you find often there is opposition to penetrate Mbappe, not the left side midfielder. So therefore, there is a chance for them to sneak out and just get past the maestro. Do you think the 4-4-2 defensive shape has got little problem, and that's what we saw last night?
think a lot of coaches and me myself, having been in the sport for so long, one thing I've learned that you can have as many tactics, you can have as many formations, you can make 10,000 plans before a game, but if you don't have the right energy, if you don't have the right desire, don't have the right passion going into the game, no tactic or no formation is going to help you. And I think that's where France, about yesterday's game,
Yes.
lacked initially. I think Argentina had more of a hunger. They played a 4-3-1. Messi had a free roll, and France, I think, didn't have that energy to close the plays down. Of course, you let them two centre backs have the ball of Argentina, because Giroud initially was pressing alone, but they were easily getting picked out. So, yeah, I come to the same point. You can have as many formations, 4-4-2, can have three at the back, whatever you want. But if you don't have the energy initially, that you're going to get punished.
You
and
highlighted
after
a
the
very...
80th minute,
I
Yeah,
must sneak in another question. You've highlighted a very important point, saying that all the tactics, all the paperwork goes out of the window the moment you step into the field. And that's what exactly
Yeah.
happened. Till the 80th minute, Argentina was leading 2-0. Suddenly, what happens? Did they take it too easy and they gave chance to Mbappe? Considering that he was their biggest firepower and Pogba's and the Benzemas of the world were not playing, what is your view? What goes inside the mind of a team who's 2 goals up in a World Cup final and just waiting for perhaps looking at the ceremony, visualizing that? Does it happen?
till the 80th minute, I was watching the game with my wife as well. And she was like, it's done and dusted. And I said, I've seen games, I've been part of the games where you are 3-0 up till the 85th minute and you can't concede 3 goals. So that's the beauty of sport, and that's why we love it. But what happened, I think till 80th, they looked very comfortable, but that's just the beauty of this game. You give one half a chance. The penalty was given, of course, a shady one. Sometimes given, sometimes not.
Yes.
And after that, you see that switch. And what I highlighted, tactics and all are very important. But if you don't have the energy to execute them, it's all just a piece of paper then. So
Absolutely.
they got the goal, and then you just saw how they were pressing. It was incredible to watch. And that's how the game can change. And then, of course, emotions take over no matter how mentally strong you are. And Argentina did take a step back, and France was just mounting on the pressure.
Sandesh, you've raised an important point. Everything goes for a toss and suddenly the complacency seeps in. That's what perhaps would have happened. Just imagine, you're one of the most senior-most players in the Indian contingent. You've been a senior for a long time. You're a more decorated. Just imagine, you are 2-0 up, trying to visualize the winning ceremony, and suddenly you go into extra time. You as a skipper, walk into the dressing room. What would Messi or Scaloni would have spoken to their people just to wake them up? Because at that point of time, France was in the momentum and they were gearing up. Your views, and then I'll come back to Ranjit and ask his tactical bit.
I think if I just talk about myself, might be wrong or people might not like it, but I won't be visualizing getting my hands on the trophy even before the game. That's how way I look at it. I don't like building up so much pressure for the future, not on myself and not on the team also. Because for me, if I was in that final, I wish one day I'll be. The only words I'm going to say is it's just another game. Yes, it's the World Cup final. The whole world is watching. Forget that. For us, it's just another football game. Let's do what we are supposed to do.
But it's a
Let's stick to
hypothetical
the
situation.
tactics.
What do you think Messi and Scaloni would have spoken to their guys? Would they just blast in the Mourinho style or the Zidane style, or they would have just told them to take it easy, calm down your nerves? Your views?
I think if you look at the whole game, if I was there after 2-2, I would say to the lads that, we've been the better team. Okay,
Yes.
so we had a lapse of 4 or 5 minutes, but it doesn't mean in 5 minutes we become a bad team. Still we are more in control. Let's just show more maturity. Of course, France is going to go kamikaze now because they think, they got the back and everyone is cheering. But let's be more mature. Let's be more calm. We know we are better. Stick to the plan, which got us 2-0 till the 80th minute and even after the 85th.
Right.
So just stay calm. Just do your job. Don't get overexcited or, think I'm going to win the game on my own.
Well, I'm surprised. I've seen more outbursts from you on the field, but this would have been a very calmer situation, as you mentioned. I'll go back to Ranjit. Ranjit, what did Scaloni and Messi did right from the 80th minute till the end of that, before the penalty started? Your views, or were they in disarray? Did your heart skip a beat when you saw them coming back and just doing a 2-2 draw? Ranjit, if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yeah.
See, it didn't actually skip a beat. It skipped a beat when there was a one-on-one with Kolo Muani getting a ball and it was through, and it was one-on-one with the keeper, Emilio Martinez, with them. And can you believe it? That substitute came on and he could have just won the World Cup for France right there and then.
Absolutely.
And this is what this beautiful game is. He made that splendid save, took them on, and it reminds me of a great moment when Suarez did the same thing. A handball penalty, red card
for Ghana.
And he missed
Against
the penalty.
Ghana.
Yeah, for Ghana, and Ghana missed the penalty.
Yes.
And then that made Uruguay go up. So, that handball, he keeps on saying, I would have done it again and again. So you have to see that in these moments, the legends and the great players stand out.
Yes.
See, why do we call them great players? Great players have this ability to turn it on when it is required in big matches. Great players don't go and shine in small matches. So Messi, when he saw there was 2-2 and he went back into the dressing room, and especially Scaloni. And by the way, Messi's hero, he says, my hero is, Messi has a hero, by the way.
Yes.
So he says, my hero is Aymar. And Aymar was part of the coaching staff.
That's correct.
So if Aymar would have gone and told him, Ayala would have gone, Walter Samuel, and even Scaloni, that come on, boys, you have been the better team for these 90 minutes.
Right.
And you see, yes, Mbappe is the one who you've been looking after, and he has just got free only for 5 minutes. So if we make sure that we do what we were doing in the first half and in the second half till the 80th minute, we'll definitely beat this team. And they would have definitely said that these 30 minutes, boys, give it your all.
Absolutely.
Because it's only 30 minutes, but this result will stay with you for life.
Yes.
And you'll be world champions for life. You'll be telling your grandchildren about making this history with this great man, Messi. And Messi himself, you could see that even if it was 3-3, he took that shot on target, which if it wasn't for that great save by Hugo Lloris, would have also won Argentina the World Cup.
But at the same time, in 123rd minute, after the completion, there was also a jitter. Martinez actually saved them the blushes by defending that in the last minute. Do you think Martinez and Di Maria are the silent hero of this movie, of this big mega blockbuster?
I would say not only the silent hero, equal hero to Messi.
Yes.
Emilio Martinez is an equal hero to Messi because not only in this match he did this, he has been a hero for Argentina in one of the previous matches as well. So Argentina wouldn't have got here if it wasn't for him. He wouldn't have. This guy was responsible for winning them the Copa America in the final and now it's become very famous when he's sitting there, when he's in the penalty shootout, Sunil, and the guy is coming up, the Colombia striker, and he's saying, I'm going to eat you up, bro.
Yes.
I'm going to eat you up. I'm going to eat you up. And those guys actually missed the penalty.
Absolutely.
And when it went to penalties, I knew Argentina had it. For one, experience. For second, they knew that this was happening. They were practicing this for a long time. Third, Emilio Martinez being the goalkeeper. Any other goalkeeper, probably I would have given it to Hugo Lloris. But Emilio Martinez is a penalty specialist, especially he lives and thrives for these moments.
Yes.
So he's gone down in the history and he got the golden glove, and rightfully
Okay,
so.
I'm going to say something which you won't like. Do you think Martinez wasn't handled well by your favorite club, Arsenal, and they kept him on the sides? They don't know how to...
I would say, do you know who was beating Emilio Martinez at that time? Szczesny. And Szczesny was the reason Poland went so far. He was one of the best goalkeepers after the Morocco goalkeeper and Buna and him. I mean, these are the three best goalkeepers of the tournament.
As expected, you would defend an Arsenal situation, but I think it's time for the world. It's time for the world to take notice and do some headhunting out of this. Do you think, Sandesh, this particular performance of Team Morocco, Argentina, lesser stars and Croatia, do you think a lot of headhunting will start happening for the next season? Sandesh, if you can hear us.
Yeah, for the signing of the players, you mean?
Yes, that's correct.
From these clubs.
Yes.
I think most of them are playing already in big clubs. If you see the Croatian midfield, like what, Modric is in Madrid, Brozovic in Inter. But yeah, a lot of good talents was seen in this World Cup.
About the Moroccan players, do you think it's time that the EPL will start importing them?
Depends, a lot of things depends on the work permit as well, But yeah, I think it's still many of them are playing in top clubs. I think for me personally, I liked this Amrabat, the number 6, the midfielder of the team, a top player. Even the centre backs, Sayes, I think he was in Premier League already, and yeah, it's a very good team. And what I loved about them as a unit, they were fantastic. It was a joy to watch them. I think they didn't concede a goal prior to the semi-final, I think.
Absolutely. There was a self-goal against Canada. Yes.
Yeah. So it was incredible. And I think after the World Cup, many clubs, go for shopping. So I think Morocco players will be right on top of their list, I believe. Even that centre-back of Croatia, Guardiola, I think he plays in Leipzig. Top centre-back, very intelligent, doesn't commit easily, doesn't move on the floor, good positioning. I think he'll also make a big move, I think.
I'm going to ask you, of course, it's going to be a shopping season, as you said, for the next year's thing. Since we're talking about Indian football, it has done brilliant in the past few months, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. How does the Indian football stack up against the teams that did make it to the World Cup this year? With the new extended format coming in effect from 2026, and there'll be a berth for Asian teams being doubled from 4 to 8. Does that bring smile on our faces? Do we see a glimmer of hope, Sandesh?
Firstly, to answer how we stack up against all the teams who qualified, I think the teams who didn't qualify all are below the ones who against the ones who qualified, because they are at the World Cup, and all the countries, including Italy, was not there.
Yes,
we gotta improve. But it's a very great question. I think it's a lot of answers to it, a lot of ways to look at it, how we go forward. I've said before that the grassroots, the youth development is the future, and our country is doing, the AFF is doing it very well. But sometimes it takes patience, because it's not overnight. An 8-year-old boy can become 20-year-old and perform for you. Right. So, it's a gradual process, and this grassroots is the future.
Yes.
And we're doing well in it. And of course, in the next World Cup, the Asian quota getting more. I think credit to the other Asian countries, Japan, Saudi, because they've done so well in the World Cup that's helped us get more slots, and the World Cup also becoming more bigger. So it's good for us, but as you said, how realistic our chances are. I think if you don't dream big enough, you'll never be there. Absolutely. I have a very fine believing for many years, no matter how big or impossible the task looks ahead of you, if you already decided, it's impossible, then there is no hope, even if there is very less hope. But the moment you just make a small switch and you're like, okay, I'm going to make it, we'll do whatever it takes. Even if the chances are less, still there is hope, because in your mind you have put that seed.
Is there a timeline for the hope? You've got, if I ask you a 10-second question, is there a timeline for a hope for India to make it wear the World Cup jersey and be competing, considering our quota has improved?
Of course there is. Why would we play the qualifiers if we don't believe in ourselves?
Absolutely.
So there is chance, of course.
Absolutely. We'll have a wrap up with Ranjit Bajaj. Ranjit, what has been the most iconic photograph in your mind for this World Cup? And then we'll say thank you to both our guests. Ranjit, your closing remarks.
I would say the photograph or the visual of Angel Di Maria and on the bench crying while the World Cup was still going on, when it was 2-2 and then 3-2 and then 3-3. The emotions of the substitutes on the bench is what you can come to know what the team is feeling, because the guys on the field, you can't see their emotions. Them crying while the match is going on, and they were up 3-2 and still crying, 3-3 still crying. That got me. That shows the power of the game.
Absolutely. The power of the game has really stood out. Well, we've got new icons, we've got new heroes, we've got new people who are ordained, players who've been immortalized in this.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.